Welcome back. So I know this is kind of an air gun channel, but I'm in the lower 48 right now, and I wanted to share with you one of my very favorite guns. So this is a little bit of a sharing video today. Today I have with me this. This is a case for one of my very favorite pistols. If not my very favorite pistol. And there goes one of my other favorite pistols that just fell on the ground. This pistol I fell in love with the very first time I ever saw one in a magazine. When I was in grade school or whatever, before the world went wackadoodle, I used to read stuff like Guns and Ammo magazine in grade school. I saw this pistol and absolutely fell in love with it. Always wanted one ever since. This would have been back in the late 80s, early 90s, not sure when I first saw it, but I wanted one my entire life. Fast forward, I grow up. I worked retail, managing a motorcycle shop for a long time in my teens and 20s. And in my 20s, I was still broke because I was basically making a minimum wage. But I later went on to become a gun dealer and kind of went on the law enforcement route for a while, private security, that sort of stuff. So I'm taking my little brother shooting on his 14th birthday. And we had this guy in a car just tailgating the crap out of us. Long story short, it's really funny. I told my brother, I go, that guy better back off or I'm going to turn the front of his car into a tin can. There was a little Toyota Celica in front of us, and I'm driving my Ford Ranger. And this little Toyota Celica slammed its brakes on for a ground squirrel in the middle of the highway. I immediately hit the brakes, and I was watching in my rear view mirror as this guy, who had actually backed off a little bit, came barreling down on me with his car. And I was watching in the rear view mirror until pretty much the last second when the car in front of me let off the brakes. I stomped on the gas as hard as I could to try and accelerate, and it wasn't fast enough, and he ended up hitting me, and his Honda Accord turned into a tin can. Literally 2 minutes after I told my brother that. I really didn't have any damage to my truck. Took pictures of it. Insurance adjuster checked it, saw it, blah, blah, blah. And they sent me a check for like $950. It didn't even do anything to my truck. It bent the bumper just a little tiny bit. I didn't even care. The bumper was already bent, and so I never fixed it. I went to the gun shop from my brother's birthday and bought myself a gift. So what I bought myself was a Ruger GP100 full lug. I saw this thing. I was in immediate love, and I had this cash from this insurance from this accident, and I bought the pistol that I had wanted for, I don't know, at least a decade. This is a 4-inch Ruger GP100 357 Magnum. I don't know what attracts me about these, but I think they are the most beautiful revolver basically ever made. It's like got kind of almost a, it's almost like a modern tactical look with this full lug. So it doesn't have this pencil barrel off of this big frame. It's very symmetrical to me. And I don't know, that just attracted me so much. I probably originally saw the 6-inch version of it, but I don't know, I just wanted something small and awesome, and I needed a Magnum pistol. I didn't have one in my slew of guns at the time, and so I got one. And funny enough, I actually had my FFL at the time when I got this, but I found it in another shop, and I just bought it at another shop. I got this pistol, and when I was training for pistol competition stuff, I actually trained with this thing a lot. I would fast draw out of the holster, and I figured if I could use trigger control and, you know, get rid of my flinch reflex with a full powered hot load, hand loaded hot 357 Magnum that was blowing sparks and flames out of everything, if I could get used to that and I could double tap on plates and stuff with that, then when I got back to my competition pistol, which at the time was 40 Smith & Wesson, funny enough, there's one sitting right there, 40 Smith & Wesson Glock 35. But before that, I was using a 45 ACP. Funny enough, I got one of those sitting right here too, as my competition gun, 1911. Anyway, so that's my little story of this Ruger GP100 and the most beautiful revolver pistol I've ever seen. At the time when I was when I had my FFL and was dealing a little bit in guns, I was also kind of doing some amateur gunsmithing, and I gave myself a trigger job on this thing, and it's really smooth, and I could just double tap it as much as you at least as I can with a heavier trigger like this on plates, and it was super fun. I was actually really pretty good with this gun. But yeah, Ruger GP100, if you've never shot one of these things, they're an absolute joy. And what's super cool about 357 Magnums is you can also shoot 38 specials in them. And these little things, this is a Blazer ammo, I think, with the aluminum case, CCI Blazers, and there's probably 138 grains or something, I'm not sure. But these things, you can take your girlfriend or wife or some chick that you're courting or something, and you can take them out and you can shoot this thing, and it's not intimidating at all. It's got lots of weight, so there's no recoil. You don't have to worry about them, just pulling the trigger and shooting your leg off because they're being dumb and watched a Dirty Harry movie and they're blowing in the barrel and all that stuff. But it's a beautiful gun to train people on. The rubberized grip, if you've ever shot any of the Rugers, the Super Red Hawks or anything like that, and then you shot like the Smith & Wesson equivalent, which I'm so out of guns, I don't remember all the models at the moment, at least off the top of my head. But this rubberized grip makes it way, way better. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on this, and that's all.